Watching now on the Seaside Straight. Michael makes that turn into turn 9. The car hops across the bump there. Little Al is right behind him through turn 10. Now to the hairpin. This is where Michael has had his advantage. He turns in sharply, straightens up, comes onto the Shoreline Straight. Little Al is right behind him. They accelerate. Michael gets a good, hard accelerating run off of that turn down the Shoreline Straight. Ahead of him, this is the third place car, and Jeff Brabham ducks under the third place car, and now Jeff Brabham has third as he takes it away from Tom Sneva. Sneva's machine hesitated.
That's right, it did, Paul. In fact, I was just going to tell you, it looked like he might be running out of fuel. It didn't quit, but it hesitated, and that means that it could possibly be out. Remember, this is the time that we predicted that the guys are going to start having problems with their fuel.
This is the ultimate lap. The white flag has already been given to the leaders. Tom Sneva made the prediction of the end of this race. His car hesitated. It could be out of fuel. Will that happen to one of these two men? Michael Andretti on the last lap of what may well be his first IndyCar victory. Little Al sits behind him. He comes to the inside now. Little Al knows this is his only chance. Coming into turn 10. Here they are, the leaders coming through the 10th turn. One more turn to go. Will Michael Andretti get it done? Little Al closes right down behind him, almost hits him. They come off of the hairpin. The checkered flag is just ahead. Can they hold on? Nick Finoro has the checkered. Michael Andretti roars. Little Al tries, but Michael Andretti has won his first IndyCar race. 36 tries, and he has finally done it. Michael Andretti wins his first IndyCar race.
Any given moment through the race, we saw Little Al Unser able to just tear away from the opposition.
Well, he certainly has, Sam. We've seen Mario Andretti run away from this race, but we didn't expect Al Jr. to do it. We expected him to be competitive, but he's literally just run away with the race. It appears like he thinks he has enough fuel to go on. They put a little bit of fuel into the car during an extra stop just to give him the guarantee to the end. So I think he's really in good shape. Now, one thing he can do to make the car get a little bit better mileage is to accelerate a little bit slower off the turns and save the clutch and the transmission that way just a little bit.
Right at about 2 miles for Al Unser Jr. As he comes onto the main stretch, Nick Finoro shows him the white flag, signifying one more lap to go. The chassis builders have to be pretty happy about this too, Bobby.
Well, you know, at Phoenix last week, the talk was the Marsh chassis is not up to par this year. It's been the best car over the years, but it's been rumored they're not handling well. But look at it today. They just annihilating the competition, and that's strictly a March car. Lola's have been good, but it would appear like the Penske cars have been awfully quick.
But this is the lap now that Al Unser Jr. hears everything going on in the car. He can feel the movement. He is wondering, what possibly can take this away from me? I have to be so careful at this point. Clear sailing again, his last pass down Seaside.
If he holds on to win, he will join Danny Sullivan and Mario Andretti in that heady group of drivers that have won 4 of these temporary circuit races.
Heading for turn number 10 now, a sweeper to the left, and then that very tight hairpin. As he comes off of this corner, under power, he sees the checkered flag ahead. A big number 3 being displayed on the board, and Little Al Unser Jr. has won the Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach. And boy, that is one happy team. One very happy team as Al Unser Jr. wins at Long Beach. Here comes Al Unser Jr. off the corner. Rahal closes in just a little bit more. As the white flag signifying one more lap to go. Comes out for Al Unser Jr. He's looking at 4 in a row at Long Beach. When has it been done before in the kart Indy cars? Simple answer, never.
I've never seen this happen. Of course, he hasn't come around the last lap. Rahal's still hoping something's going to happen. Little Al being as careful as he can possibly be.
It's a time that can drive a race car and a race car driver's wife crazy as Shelley continues to listen to the radio transmissions. But Little Al is listening to that race car. It's been strong all day, but he knows, as do we all, that anything could go wrong at any time, and it wouldn't take very much to stop the onward momentum of this machine.
Lady Luck's been good to him, because just compare that with Michael Andretti, who didn't get the good luck today.
Debbie Rahal, she watches Bobby Rahal running in second place. But Bobby Rahal would have to have a miracle now, because there's the hairpin turn ahead of Little Al. And they already recognize that almost anything could go wrong now, and he could roll to the finish ahead of Ray Hall. There is Al Unser Jr., and he wins the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, and that, by the way, is the 50th win for the Chevrolet Racing Engine. 16 career wins for Little Al. He picks up 4 straight Toyota Grand Prix in a row. Rick Mears, in his continuing battle, comes to the line, but Cheever is able to hold him off. There's the crew laid out for Bobby Rahall's car. He's running in third now.
And he's only 3 seconds back going into the stop. He's really been coming up.
All the crews are ready for the leaders now. Little Al is just 0.3 of a second ahead of his teammate Danny Sullivan, and Bobby Rahal is 3 seconds back from that.
Now this is going to really be something when they come into pits. We're really going to have to follow that close, because same team, same general bunch of guys that work together and practice their pit stops together. So it's going to be interesting to see how it comes out.
This is where the pressure is really on the crewmen waiting for their car to arrive at the pits. Incredible.
And Al Unser Jr. makes his turn into the pit area, and he comes down for his stop. So Al Unser Jr. is in, Jack.
And Paul, it's like precision craftsmen as they go to work. Let's listen. They've changed the rear tires, as we said. Brand new rear tires, old back tires. They clean the radiator area, and they're away in 12.4. Let's go to Gary Jarrow.
And Bobby Rahal, we had him at 11.7 as he hustles right out behind. He was further up toward pit in, so he's got to try to make up that distance. But Carl Hogan leading the cheers. This was a terrific stop.
Danny Sullivan stayed out on the course, picked up the lead. Al Unser Jr., Bobby Rahal, Emerson Fittipaldi have all made their stops.
The rules of most teams are the guy that's leading between the 2 cars, he pits first. The guy that's running second in the team race pits next. Bobby Rahal goes next. Little Al incidentally got held up a little bit by Scott Goodyear coming in, because it's so important when this man right here was that close behind him.
First place, Danny Sullivan in, Jack.
And Paul, they have not had any problems whatsoever other than that one little tire snafu. They are taking on fuel. They've finished the exchange. The fuel, they still have plenty in the tank.
And here comes Al Unser Jr. off of the last corner as Danny Sullivan kicks the throttle and roars out of the pits. Can Danny maintain the lead with Little Al on the charge? Little Al screaming down toward the first turn now. They'll join right down there at the end of the straightaway. Here is Sullivan maneuvering into the corner. Here is Al Unser Jr. coming right in behind him. So the battle is on. The pit crews did their job. The final stops are complete, and Danny Sullivan is still in front.
Now that shows you one little holdup by Scott Goodyear. He just happened to be, not his fault, he happened to be coming in when Little Al did. That has put Little Al back this far for sure.
They say races are won in the pits, and there is a perfect example of it right here.
And Al Unser Jr. is right there and closing in. He looked to the inside. He is going to do everything he can to worry Danny Sullivan now as they come toward the hairpin now. Danny Sullivan is out in front, but Little Al is still doing everything he can. The decision may come at the end of this long straightaway as they come onto the pit straight. Al Unser Jr. is set up trying to catch Danny Sullivan, but Danny Sullivan pulls a little bit away. Still Al Unser Jr. now as they come to peak RPMs, approaching 13,000 RPMs, closes in, and Little Al comes to the inside, and Al Unser Jr. picks the lead up again from Danny Sullivan.
As I've said many times, Paul, there isn't anybody that can drive into a turn from high speed as deep as Little Al can. He knew that. I could watch him when he came off the hairpin, how hard he was crouching on behind back of Danny, and I knew he was going to try a pass right there.
And I don't think Danny was 100% confident on those new tires. To you, Bobby, he seemed tentative during that lap that he was leading.
At the race driver school, they'll tell you do all your braking before you do all your turning. I guarantee you that didn't happen here. And Little Al was modulating those brakes as he turned in, made a little move to the outside, and then swept right down inside of Danny Sullivan. So now it is Little Al, Al Unser Jr., that has the lead of the race, having just taken it away from Danny Sullivan. And now Al Unser Jr. and the rest have to deal with traffic.
And yet only 4 laps left. And look at these cars. They're virtually running just about the same speed, Paul. Look at that.
Danny Sullivan taking advantage of the traffic, comes inside Little Al. Little Al touches him. Little Al spins wins it.
Unbelievable.
The two teammates get together. Little Al now tries to get the engine back under power. He tries to roll forward. The radio report no doubt will be coming to this man, Rick Gallis, as Little Al tries to come around. But there's very little time left. Danny Sullivan is out in front. Ray Hall is second. Fittipaldi is third.
And it's pretty clear that it was Danny Sullivan who touched Little Al's rear wheel there. So this is going to lead to recriminations within the team and a possibility for Ray Hall at the last minute.
And remember, the cars, Little Al was so long getting going because the turning radius on all these Indy cars just isn't very sharp. Not sharp enough for him to have gotten out of that little blockage that he was in there.
How devastating to come this close to his 5th victory here and have it taken away so savagely right at the last minute. Ray Hall on the attack. Sullivan very much back in IndyCar racing after a year.
And here comes Ray Hall coming to the inside. Little Al, by the way, dropped into 4th place when he finally got it back under power. But now Ray Hall sees his opportunity for 2 in a row. And he begins to charge at the back of Danny Sullivan's car.
There's no laps left. He's got to go for it. Time is running out. And Ray Hall is passing, has got to be at the end of the long straightaways. One of the two of them, the front one and the back one.
The engines in 1st and 2nd place are the same. The difference is in the chassis and certainly in the driver's skills, though they are both wonderfully well-matched competitors. Both of them Indianapolis 500 champions. Both of them PPG IndyCar champions.
Were Sullivan to hang on an all-new chassis, the Galmer chassis, would win in just its 3rd race, an incredible achievement.
103 laps into the record book. Al Unser Jr.'s chance at a 5th straight victory go by the wayside when he taps with Danny Sullivan. But the question one must ask is, did in that tap any damage occur to Sullivan's car, which may manifest it here in the last laps?
I doubt it, but I think the pressure on Sullivan is now incredible, because if he loses this race to Ray Hall, he is going to be a very bad guy around the Gallis-Craco team.
Well, he didn't do it intentionally.
No, of course
Sam,
he didn't.
I mean,
I understand.
Racing is very close.
The white flag comes out. There is just one more circuit to go, 1.59 miles. Danny Sullivan has the lead here. This is one of Ray Hall's chances. He doesn't take it as they go into the first turn. Now they will have to single file. Maury Cranes watches his car. Debbie Rahal keeps track of her husband. Now they move back, heading for Seaside. That is the last reasonable chance that Bobby Rahal will have. His objective will be to try to move to the inside at the end of this straight and outbreak Danny Sullivan going into the corner. Here is Rahal. He makes his move, darting toward the inside. He can't get it done there. Very little opportunity now. It would be a remarkable maneuver if Rahal could get past, as Danny Sullivan heads for the final turn. And Danny Sullivan is now on the pit straight. Both of them coming up to speed. The checkered flag lies just ahead. And Danny Sullivan, facing the checkered flag, has taken the win for the Gallis-Craco team. Danny Sullivan with his 16th career win. His first win since the finale in 1990 at Laguna Seca.
See, Fabi pulls over, but he's not close enough to make a pass. He keeps egging Eddie on, though. Eddie Cheever on. Eddie sees him pull over in his mirror. A little hard to see in the mirrors when a guy's directly behind you, but if you pull off the side, the guy definitely sees you.
Well, while we continue to track this, which is now a four-way fight for third, let me tell you that Al Unser Jr.'s interval to Michael Andretti is now only 5 seconds. So 3 seconds disappeared there somewhere. Was it Little Al comfortable in the lead and slowing down, or is Michael suddenly quicker?
Just by watching Little Al, Paul, I'd say that he's just being very careful. You know, with all the engine, well, not so many engines, but transmission failures, he's got to know that he needs to finish this thing, otherwise no win's going to be.
Oh, and Michael locks him again and slides off. Same corner as before. The turn onto Linden. Oh, no. Second place. Jackaroo, you were about to add something to this just before Michael slid off.
Well, let's add to you, the concern about Christian Fittipaldi is a failing gearbox. The concern about the slowing of Al Unser Jr., according to our Buck and the crew, hey, when you're out front, you don't want to push it unless you have to. So they've slowed things down just a bit.
So with Michael, here he is as he locked him up and slid off.
Now what he did is he locked up the rears in order to keep him spinning the car out, Paul. He let the brakes off, drove ahead a little bit. Now he's got a problem because he can't get a reverse out of the transmission. The guys have got to push him back, the course workers, so he can go again.
So here's what happens. Christian Fittipaldi gets past for Teo Fabi. That is now the second place car, Teo Fabi. Christian is back to third. In fourth place is Scott Pruitt. Eddie Cheever is fifth.
And Michael, while he was running second, was actually leading the points chase. Of course, now he's dropped out of that.
Michael's rear brakes locked up. He must have his brakes just awfully hot because when he put on the brakes down there, the rears locked momentarily. Michael doing the right thing, let off the brakes, drove it straight so he wouldn't spin out. Unfortunately, he was in a very bad position.
Now Christian has really fallen well back. What's the smoke there? Looks like somebody lost the rear end for a second. Michael Andretti getting going again is what it was.
There's Pruitt is snuck by Cheever.
And in doing so, Pruitt runs now in fourth place. He's now the points leader. So we're going all the way to the checkered flag, and this thing's not over, except for the fact that Al Unser Jr., with all this action, now suddenly has 22 seconds on second place.
And if Al Unser Jr. holds on to win, remember this will make the fourth different driver this season who's won a race. You have to go back over 3 years for that to have happened before. Four different drivers.
Just think, Sam, all this action and only 3 laps to go.
And there may be more yet. Here's Pruitt.
Scott Pruitt looking at another podium finish in third place, but can he chase down Teo Fabi? Teo's just ahead. About a second and a half ahead as they hit that corner.
Pruitt's team had some bad luck at Phoenix, or they might have been on the podium there too. An infraction called by the officials. They were unable to discuss that infraction with the officials. The black flag was shown. Regrettable incident. He might have been on the podium. It's all been sorted out now, though.
Tell you what, don't count out Eddie Cheever here. Did you see him come off of the corner about 2 corners ago? He really pitched it wide. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Here's heartbreak looming for a couple of teams. Teo Fabi and Scott Pruitt, we're told, are both going to get stop-and-go penalties for passing Eddie Cheever in a yellow zone.
So those 2 positions were improved under a yellow. Oh, no. So second place goes, third place goes out. Cheever will come forward. That puts Christian Fittipaldi back up to third once again when they display that black flag.
Incredible. 2 black flags for this man, Scott Pruitt, in 2 successive weekends with a major impact on the outcome of the race.
And having a massive impact on the outcome.
If you think that Pat Patrick isn't going to be chewing nails this time, boy, just watch this. He's still having a controversy over the last race in Phoenix last weekend.
Al Unser Jr. crossed the line 22 seconds ahead of second place car as he crossed the line, taking the white flag, indicating the final lap. Teo Fabi acknowledges the black flag, comes into the pits. There is Al Unser Jr., the emperor of the beach, as he makes the final 3 turns. A left, then a right, and the checkered flag will lie ahead. Al Unser Jr. comes onto shoreline. Oh, so careful as Christian Fittipaldi stalls in front of him. That's going to cost Christian Fittipaldi greatly as Al Unser Jr. scores his 6th win at Long Beach and his 28th career win. Al Unser Jr. takes the win, and Penske Racing is looking strong again.
Right now, the battle for the race lead and a possible $250,000 payday for Brian Herta, who runs at the bottom of your screen, just ahead of Dario Franchitti, rookie last year, I should say. He too is looking for his first win.
And are you thinking Brian Herta was thinking about Laguna Seca right now when he had Alex Zanardi that close behind him, and he's got Dario behind him this close? He does not want to let this one get away from him.
That was for a championship a year ago at Laguna Seca. 5 laps to go around this 1.5-mile racetrack. Alex Zanardi right there emerges in 3rd place. He too running for position here in the waning laps. And we all know what Alex Zanardi can do when he is anxious to move up. Recall the battles he had with Brian Herta last year, including a collision while Herta was leading on the streets of Vancouver.
He's looking down the inside of Franchitti. Very clean pass.
Professional driving by both men. So now Zanardi moves into 2nd place, and once again it is Herta and Zanardi. Zanardi, the defending race winner, the man who introduced donuts to Long Beach. And Herta, you see his visor moving to the right. He's checking that mirror, looking for the red car. 4 laps to go.
And Bob, a quick update in the Greg Moore pit. The fueler, Tim Wilson, was hit. The kart safety team is tending to him. He is conscious, but he had a big tire mark on his left leg. He seems to be injured, but he is conscious.
Checking the Omega timing. Well, you don't need to check it. You could see just how close this battle is. Shades of Laguna Seca a year ago for the championship.
And Bob, they've just told her on the radio, take no prisoners. There's no holds barred in this one. We've got a shootout at the beach.
Down the outside, headed for the hairpin. Alex Zanardi looks. And now Franchitti is right on Zanardi's gearbox. 1, 2, 3. They come off the hairpin and onto Shoreline Drive. 3 to go this time by. Behind them, Scott Pruitt runs 4th. Adrian Fernandez 5th. Greg Moore 6th. Mark Blundell 7th. Tony Kanaan 8th. Jimmy Vasser 9th. And Elio Castroneves 10th. But Pruitt is 4 seconds behind this battle for the victory. And now Zanardi is right up behind race leader Herta. Franchitti just as close behind him as they go on to Seaside Way, the backstretch. Perhaps Ivan Dario Franchitti, I want to get a couple of car lengths back and just watch them go at it.
No, you want to get right up in there and hope that somebody touches, gives you a little opportunity and gives you the opportunity to take away a place or possibly 2.
Zanardi looks down the outside, the inside, right up behind Herta now as they come back onto Shoreline Drive one more time. 2 to go this time by, and everyone in this crowd of 100,000 plus is on their feet. Here goes Zanardi for the lead, and he has it. Here comes Franchitti for second as the Target Chip Ganassi Racing team goes crazy. The first time they have been in the lead since the exchange of pit stops earlier in the race. Alex Zanardi has come seemingly from nowhere to work his magic again, and he is in the lead and pulling away.
And Brian Herta has to be crushed. And Franchitti took advantage of it. He had to be right there up close and took advantage of it all.
A quick look in the mirrors for Zanardi, but he has a huge interval as the white flag waves. The victory would be worth $5,000 in donations to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Last year they earned about $100,000. Did Chip Ganassi Racing and Target. There is Franchitti, who has taken over second place. Best finish ever for the Scottish driver. What a remarkable run for Alex Zanardi. I mentioned earlier in the race that the season has gotten off to a quiet start. He crashed at Motegi, Japan last Saturday. But now he has worked his way patiently through this field, through all the chaos, all the drama. Once more through the hairpin with this crowd screaming as one. He has done it again. The checkered flag waves, and Alex Zanardi back-to-back wins in Long Beach.
Under 2 minutes to go in the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Sebastian Bourdais has been the class of the field. Oreo Serbia.
He's trying.
Nah, it ain't gonna happen.
The way that Sebastian can get off that final corner is phenomenal.
And Tagliani, he was all over Serbia.
Headed for the first turn. 90 seconds
Watch
to go
Wilson.
in the race.
In the red and white CDW machine, he was almost thinking about making a move on power.
On board with Justin Wilson. Looking forward at Will Power.
And Justin's a guy, he will force the issue. If he thinks he has any daylight, he'll put it in there.
And this is it.
Oh, he's got a good run.
Yeah.
He's got a good run right here. Stay with Wilson. Here he comes.
Oh, not enough.
Oh. Tagliani right in front of Will Power, then Justin Wilson. Marty. Check with Marty in a moment.
I'm ready, Bill.
Go ahead.
I apologize. Will Power's had a terrific day. Big shout out to those guys, and they've stayed in the top 5 all day long. Will, talk to me about championship. Not so much trying to win this race, but focusing on the championship this year. He set himself in a good position.
Well, I mean, these guys are just all over each other in that last corner. This is going to be it. They're going to have to get it done.
Last lap.
Yeah, there's a lot of zeros on the Cosworth Power Pass list now.
Well, here it comes. Here comes Power.
Oh, nice move. Very strong.
Off the win at Vegas to 3rd, trying to get a podium finish.
He's thinking about more. He's not just thinking about championship. That was an aggressive move. Of course, that helps your championship. Fantastic after such a dominating performance in Vegas.
So Power to 3rd, looking ahead at Sylvia.
Here comes Wilson, taking a look.
Justin Wilson.
He's there.
Got him.
Justin Wilson in the red and white machine. Tagliani in the red and black car. And it's Bruno Junqueira right behind them. 3 red and white cars and the black car in the middle.
And Junqueira has a little power to pass left. The guys in front of him have none. So Bruno Junqueira may have a shot here.
There's your race leader, Sebastian Bourdais, trying to go for the 3-peat here in Long Beach. Started from the pole, has had an outstanding run. Disappointment a week ago, but not today. Sebastian Bourdais wins at Long Beach.
Well done, Tim. Great drive. Well done, Car 1 team.
And what a run for Serbia. There's your race winner, Sebastian Bourdais.
Of race time remains. Will Power is the leader. Montagna runs 2nd. Dominguez is 3rd. Bernoldi is 4th. Pereira is 5th. Tagliani has dropped all the way to 6th. Jimmy Vasser now being shown. He has dropped all the way to 10th. It is Serbia 7th. Rahal is 8th. Martinez is 9th. And Vasser, as we said, is currently 10th. And we should be seeing the white flag, Davey, this next time by.
Yeah, the flagman has it in his hand. Yeah, it looks like he's going to drop it this time by to Will Power.
Well, we're going to keep our eye on Will Power as he negotiates turn number 5. Now he will make his way off of 5 and he will head to turn number 6. So Will Power getting ready to set up for the left-hander and Jerry Baker. Will Power, did he win this thing at the start? It looks that way with now just about a lap and a half remaining.
I'll tell you, he can start making dinner plans about a half hour ago. He's just been that strong. He has no one within sight in front or back in front of Mark James right now.
6 podium finishes 1 year ago. He was 3rd here. He's going to move up a couple of steps and grab the championship of the Long Beach Grand Prix.
As we watch the green and yellow Aussie Vineyards machine of Will Power come off the hairpin, he will see the white flag this time by. The white flag will wave over the number 8 KV Technologies car of Will Power as they're going to head to turn number 1. We're showing now 1 minute of race time remaining. They're in front of you, Bob Jenkins.
His 3rd appearance here at Long Beach. He's all by himself as he makes corner number 1 for probably the last time, as Montagna is well behind him.
As we were watching the flag stand, Davey, we thought we were going to see the white flag unfurled, but they are showing a furled white flag. I'm not so sure I've ever seen that from the flag stand before, so I'm not exactly sure if that means 1 lap to the white flag.
I've been racing a long time, Mike. I've never seen anything like that in my life, but it must be 1 more to the white flag by him just saying, holding the white flag furled. I've never seen it, but I guess that means there's still 1 more to go.
Okay, so we apologize for our confusion here as we will try to pick up the leader who is already in turn number 9. So we'll wait and see if the white flag comes out this time. Will Power, the Australian driver, makes his way through turn number 10. Now he comes on to the front straightaway here on Shoreline Drive is Will Power in the green and yellow machine. The checkered flags are out. That was the final lap. There's the win. The double checkers will wave for Will Power. An interesting white flag indication as we had not seen that before. Power is the winner in the KV Racing Technology car. Montagna will be shown in 2nd.
Still under caution here at Long Beach, and some interesting developments during this caution period. There's damage on the front nose of Brian Briscoe's car.
And check this out. Scott Dixon stopped on the course, spun at the exit of, either was hit or spun, and that's what Briscoe got into. And Briscoe, that car's heavily damaged.
Well, we saw Dixon spinning. Here, let's watch it. Well,
he's on
there's
his own.
I think Briscoe hits him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that's on the front straightaway, guys, under yellow.
But he gassed it.
Okay, that's Briscoe up in front. We're on board with Marco. That's Dixon. Wow.
Briscoe.
Did he think we were going to a green flag?
No.
I don't know.
Well, Briscoe has been called to pit lane for a penalty, 30-second penalty. The green flag comes out. Let's settle this thing here with 8 laps to go, 7 laps to go.
And it's worth noting, we had lots of reports up and down, people saving fuel, other people not. With all this extra, you can turn it up and go for it. So we're not looking at some people saving more fuel. Whatever you got now, let's show it. And what we're seeing is Dario's got the best thing going.
Right now, he's got enough of a gap, and we haven't even completed 1 lap. He's got enough of a gap where he doesn't need to even look in his mirrors. Just concentrate on what's in front of him, hitting his brake points, his turn-in points, and doing what he does best.
And you know what, though? If Will Power can stay out of trouble, it's going to be a win in a way for him as well. We talked about how important it is for him to bring that Verizon Penske entry home, and he's not there yet. And as we can see, anything's happening today.
We got about 5 laps to go. When does that all start to fall?
Yeah, if I'm
right now.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That was.
I guess that responded right. That is not where you try and make the move, Jan.
It's not.
No.
But
let's see if he tries to make it down here into turn number 1. He's got a pretty good run on Dan Weldon.
I hope Marco's car's okay, because there was contact. You don't want to slam on the brakes and have something fold on you.
Weldon holds him off, and now Elio's right behind Marco.
There was enough contact. I'd be worried if I was Marco.
Yeah, his left front, Jan.
It is almost a 4-second gap between the leader Dario Franchitti and the rest of the field. There is Dario, and here comes Will Power, Tony Kanaan, Danica Patrick, Dan Weldon, and Marco Andretti, and then Elio.
And I think this is the place we want to watch. I am not sure that Will Power has enough. Looks good here, but there have been a few laps previous to this during break where it looks like Tony Kanaan is really thinking about how he can maybe get a move on Will Power. There's a little daylight now, but he'd love to get by him.
And you know what he's been trying to assess this whole last couple laps is just where his strength is versus where Will's weakness is. And if he's ID'd anything, he's going to get close enough to pounce. And that's going to happen right about now.
Now there's a bet going on between Tony Kanaan and Dario Franchitti. If Dario wins the race, Tony Kanaan has to let his hair grow until he wins. And then when he wins a race, Dario is going to shave his locks.
And at the moment, it appears as though we're going to have hair growth as opposed to hair loss.
Boy, can you imagine Tony Kanaan with a bunch of afro type hair, you know, like they used to wear in the 60s and 70s? That'd be cool.
Well, it reverts back when Tony wins. Then I think it reverts back and he'll be okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
but
you know,
here is the most experienced driver in the field, Alex Tagliani.
And he's thinking about it. He's close enough. Oh, look at Ryan Hunter-Reay moving to the middle of the road.
Out for 10th.
Oh, I was just missing a bump. But this is heated here. He's after him.
And part of that heat, I would venture to say that Ryan Hunter-Reay
had big push. He's going to lose that spot. That car just wouldn't turn.
And I think being on the reds with 3 laps to go, I think he's got no grip left in him. And that's what they're designed to do.
It's not over.
No, he's holding off. Let's see if he can get him in turn 1. Tagliani.
Wow.
Not going to be able to do it.
That's a downforce issue there because he was beat.
No, he flat out beat.
Yeah, he was dead in the water.
Yeah.
And he just out-dragged him down the straightaway. That's the difference between running some downforce and being trimmed out. And good for Ryan Hunter-Reay for not giving up.
Yeah, and Alex is all over the back. And look at Alex going over the big bumper there. It's okay.
Tagliani tries it again. And he made it.
He got it. You know, he just forced the issue, and you saw the lockup from Ryan Hunter-Reay that opened the door. He's gone.
On his final lap is Dario Franchitti, returning to the IndyCars this year, and Ashley Judd is about to celebrate with him in victory lane. The checkered flag waves for Dario. It's his 9th career win in the IndyCar Series.
I just keep thinking how this day is going to turn out for Ryan Hunter-Reay after he has told us multiple times he loves Long Beach.
Yep.
Think about the fact that he got engaged here.
Yeah.
To Becky Gordon.
Becky Gordon, Robbie's sister.
He's talked about how his mother loved to come here, who unfortunately passed away in the offseason due to cancer. I mean, this is a dream come true if he can bring this thing home for Hunter-Reay.
And let's not forget who's on his side-pod. New title sponsor of this series, Izod. What a better way to bring things bringing things home for him here.
Doesn't hurt.
Right outside of LA as we had that big throwdown on Thursday night.
Newest member of Andretti Autosport as well, coming in saying, I'll show you guys how it's done.
Other members of the Andretti Autosport group. Tony Kanaan is running in 5th position. Marco Andretti is 14th, and Danica Patrick is 16th. He enters turn number 9. Now turn number 10. On to the hairpin 11, and he will be looking at the white flag, indicating 1 more lap to go. There it is. Ryan Hunter-Reay has 1.968 miles to go for a victory.
And that is Justin Wilson that we saw come off the hairpin behind him, so there's no lap cars between them, but there sure is a lot of distance.
There's Becky. Past the fountain for the final time. Look at the smile on Becky's face. What an afternoon for Ryan Hunter-Reay, whose only other win came at Watkins Glen in 2008.
It's great to see this all come together. I mean, as you said, they're saying they're having fun. They're confident. They're making changes. He's like, if I could have picked any changes to improve it, that made it better.
About a half a lap to go now for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He was 2nd in the opening event in Brazil this year. And we knew at that point that he was looking at probably a great season. He will not be denied as he adds his name to the list of great drivers who have won here. And as Jan said, he talked in our pre-race show about how he thinks about his mom when he comes to Long Beach. His mom passed away during the winter months. For her, he wins the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Ryan Hunter-Reay in victory lane again.
Maybe a pass here, Bourdais on power. Here's some desperation. Nicely done.
Very nicely done. And Will Power continuing to drop back. But Takuma Sato continuing to extend his lead. 77 laps in the books through the hairpin. It'll be 78 this time. That means 2 to go. And the car fast all weekend long. In fact, Sato quick all year long.
No pressure, 2 to go.
No pressure.
No pressure. He's got 4 push to passes, so no need to burn him. But if he did have any pressure, he'd at least have some money in the bank on his turbo boost.
Well, and we saw what I thought moves of a little bit of desperation in the first race of the year at St. Pete for Sato. He was a little more angry. He was willing to risk things, but today I've seen a very intelligent drive from him. I wasn't saying that the one at St. Pete was not intelligent, but he's been aggressive, but he's been measured and calculated in all of his moves.
Yeah, and when he gets
what did we say?
Yep.
Can they get this cleaned up quick, or can Kanaan get out of here?
Tony Kanaan.
See if a yellow comes out.
Who was on the blacks, who we thought might have a chance if the reds went away late in the going. It's all gone away here. As you see, Servia.
I really don't think he knew Servia was there.
I don't think he did. Yes, he did. I could see him looking in the mirror and watching Servia come up.
Well, for Takuma Sato, out of the hairpin.
I completely disagree.
I want to see it again.
Stay left, turn 1.
White flag.
There it is, the white flag for Takuma Sato. 1 lap to go. He's got to be paying attention down here.
No pressure behind.
And that's important to know. No pressure behind. You worry about trying to stay.
Good job, baby. Bring it home.
No attack, no chance. That is Takuma Sato's motto. He's attacked here today. We said he did it in a very measured fashion. He's improved. The car looked balanced underneath him all day long. The team doing a good job with strategy. And Takuma Sato half a lap away from his first IZOD IndyCar Series win.
Not great for ABC, too. They have hung with these guys for a long, long time. Great sponsor for this team, and they are going to get a victory out of this.
Full course yellow.
And now we've got the full course caution, so
Bring it home.
all Sato's got to do is just steer it around.
It's done for Takuma Sato through the carousel one last time.
Nice and easy. Bring it home.
No passing on the racetrack. Full course caution. Sato through the hairpin one last time, up through the gearbox. 52 race starts, and Takuma Sato wins in the 52nd start. He wins the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach.
That's really nice.
Welcome back to Long Beach for the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Alexander Rossi has dominated from pole, looking to win for the 2nd year in a row, and he'd be the first to do that since Sebastian Bourdais won 3 times in a row in the Champ Car Series from 05 to 07, and he's dominated even more than last year. He led 71 laps last year, already 74 of the 79 led so far. And keep in mind, coming in, when he wins the pole, look out. 5th time he's won the pole. This would be the 4th time he's gone on to win the race, Kelly.
Well, Kevin, last week's race at Barber Motorsports Park could prove to be a pivotal weekend for Joseph Newgarden and that 2-Team Penske team. Why? They did not have a good race car. He said it was uncomfortable to drive, inconsistent. They never got a good feel for it. He qualified 16th, yet the team continued to work at it. And then Tim Cindric calling a great strategy, and he came away with a 4th place result. He said it was excellent to ring that out after a tough weekend. They really maximized their result, Marty, and when you look at the big picture standings, 4 straight top 4 finishes to start this season for Joseph Newgarden.
Impressive also for Graham Rahal, sitting in 3rd. I had the privilege of riding around in the parade lap with him in the back of a truck, and we were talking about what they've kind of found the last few weeks. He said, you know what? Honestly, we've struggled when it's been warm this weekend. So if we run well today, and it is warm this afternoon here in Long Beach, you'll know we've really hit on something, and they have delivered. Graham has been very good on old tires, staring at a podium finish right here, and they may have hit on something that will carry them into the month of May, Lee, and we all know how important that month is.
What a change in fortune, swing in momentum. Made some off-season changes within the organization, and it's paying off.
And I think this will be a great battle here with 5 laps to go, because Hunter Ray, I think, has saved enough fuel now to where he can start to push. He was on push to pass. Rahal was on push to pass, answering Hunter Ray, but Hunter Ray right now has 40 more seconds, 39 to be precise, 39 more seconds for Hunter Ray on the button than Rahal. And with 4.5 laps to go, Paul, I think it's going to get pretty racy, especially with traffic coming into play.
The race is right here. All that lap traffic that Rossi had, that he dispersed of about 15 laps ago, is back here with Newgarden. And he's stretched it out in the last 3 laps, another 7 seconds. He's out to almost an 18-second lead now.
this is the battle that's going to be fun to watch. Graham Rahal now down to just 12 seconds of push to pass left, sitting in third, and literally every time Ryan Hunter-Reay is on to the push to pass, Townsend, Ricardo Naud is telling him he's on it, he's off it, he's on it, he's off it. Do you want that information from the guy behind you, knowing when he's on push to pass?
Yeah, you want that information, but you also want just more inventory, because right now Rahal's going to run out, and that's what Hunter-Reay needs to do. But now Hunter-Reay's under pressure from Dixon.
He's going to go the long way. It makes it easy. Hunter-Reay's got to save fuel and coast it down in there. So up one spot.
Not sure what happened to Hunter-Reay exiting the corner. If there's an issue, or if all of a sudden they've realized that they're not going to make it.
Oh, those tires are getting old too. He's got to do 31 laps on those tires as well.
3 to go, 6 miles left in the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Unfortunately, one of the star rookies, Colton Herta, is no longer taking part in this race, and Kevin has more on that.
Yeah, we tried to talk with Colton a little while ago, and understandably needed a little moment. Did you have anything going on with your wrist? We were kind of looking at you getting out of the car gingerly. Are you okay?
No, I was fine. It just felt terrible. The car was so quick and kind of threw it all away, and I don't know, really bad. Feel really bad for the guys, and we were looking at such a good race. You know, we were going to be able to go 4 extra laps longer than the guys in front of us. So, and then we had so much pace out on our own. You know, we had that hiccup in the pit stop, and then we closed a 6-second gap in 7 laps, 8 laps, and we were so damn quick. But yeah, another weekend with nothing to come out of it. So
you have been active here on the headset and looking at data and telemetry. What are you trying to learn here in this opportunity to kind of see what everybody else is doing during a race?
Anything I can. You know, you look at the telemetry. It always hopes for next year. Maybe you can get something out of it.
Understandable why Colton Herta is frustrated. He said this was his dream, running his hometown race in IndyCar at Long Beach. Fast car. Unfortunately, he couldn't capitalize today.
It's a shame. That's a disappointed young man, but the disappointment is so much greater because he's so determined and so passionate. Need to show you the Speedway lap leaders. You don't need to be Einstein to work this one out. Have a look at the numbers. Rossi at 78, Newgarden at 2, Power at 2, and Sato just led 1.
Well, no
just
free
on those pit stop rotations.
No free tacos. Fire up the barbecue, Townsend. We're all having hamburgers at your place tonight.
Turn on the hot tub. 1 to go at Long Beach. 11 corners with an almost 20-second lead. What else do you need to do?
So last year, he dominated the majority of the sessions, including the Sunday warm-up. It wasn't like that this year. He kind of crept up on it throughout the practice sessions. He did lead the final practice session.
However,
and then qualifying was something else.
Qualifying was an absolute hammer drop on the field. Big margin over the rest of them. And the question is,
we got a race here.
Can Graham Rahal hold off the 5-time champion and former Long Beach winner?
Rahal's out of push to pass. Rahal is at 0.
Stay on this, because I think we're going to have a race down to the final corner for the podium spot right here.
No push to pass versus 22 seconds push to pass for Dixon.
But Rahal was smart. He doesn't really need push to pass except for this back straight, which is pretty short. So if you're going to end up with 0, oh, Rahal locked his right front.
Meanwhile, the checkered flag is out. The Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.
Oh, big block.
Is won by Alexander Rossi, and here comes Scott Dixon.
He's got one more chance at the hairpin. If he dives it down the inside and does the Robbie Gordon block pass, he's going to try. He's too far back.
It's a drag race out of the hairpin. This is going to be tough. Not for a lack of trying from Scott Dixon, though. There's the finish. And Graham Rahal, will he hang on? Dixon's going to try and draft it. Graham Rahal does get third. Nobody has raced on these streets more than the NTT INDYCAR Series. Let's go back racing with Helio Castro-Neves at the head of the field, playing with a really risky strategy.
Yeah, still can't quite figure it out, but nonetheless, Castro-Neves leads at Long Beach on the restart. He's going to have to pit in probably 4 or 5 laps you lose about 40 seconds. And look at this, Dixon and Colton Herta side by side with contact there into turn 1. Dixon with the advantage.
That's really the fight for second, Paul.
Yeah, the guy on the move right now is Colton Herta. He was the first to hit the pit lane on that yellow, and he has had the fastest car all race long and all weekend, so he's looking at trying to overtake Dixon right here, and he's got to run right now.
This is the run up to turn 6. It's a dicey move, but he's coming from a long way back. Colton Herta on the 6-time champ, just like that.
That was impressive, and Dixon always so smart about leaving room when he knows it's going to be a no-win situation if he tries to defend. Dixon is on the black tires right now, so he's at little disadvantaged on this restart.
Message to Joseph Newgarden, you're about to have company. The Gainbridge Honda is coming.
Here comes Joseph Newgarden, the pole sitter, with Colton Herta right behind him.
Stalking him right in the tire tracks, all over the rear wing of that Hitachi Chevrolet through turn number 8. Colton Herta about a half a car length, maybe a full car length at corner exit. It's a battle for 4th. Newgarden moves to driver's right. Herta is going to go even lower. He'll get to the inside, and he'll make that pass. Colton Herta is your new 3rd place driver.
Now it's Colton Herta's turn.
With a big gap of 8 seconds, but going to the harder black tire, that makes the outlap very, very difficult.
And that's why they wanted to build that gap up so much, Townsend. They wanted to get it to up to 8 seconds like they did. So now comes that important stint on the primary tires. And can he keep everyone else behind him? That's what the question's going to be, Kevin.
And Joseph Newgarden follows him in. He's got a set of alternate softer reds. Faster. They are used, though. No changes. Newgarden, who won the season finale last year, trying to finish it up in style again.
Trying to get all that 750 horsepower to the ground on the streets of Long Beach. Of the 200 seconds allocated to each driver in push to pass, Herta has 71 seconds left. Newgarden down to 45.
Newgarden was super deep on the brakes. Look at him just charging the corner now. That white number 2 nose is very much in the mirrors of Herta.
Yesterday, after winning the pole position, Joseph Newgarden leapt from his cockpit and was punching the air, was high-fiving his teammates. He was pumped like he just won the Super Bowl, and it was a pole position because it was just kind of, I'm sick of qualifying 17th and 18th, and we're not being there, being in the mix. He did everything he could possibly do this weekend to come from way back to win this championship.
A little bit less downforce on Herta's car. You can see Townsend on the back wing. There's no wicker on the back, and there's a pretty big wicker across the back wing of Newgarden's car, so the advantage right now is on the straightaway for Herta, but you see Newgarden closes really close in the corners, and then down the straightaway, Herta just seems to pull away.
It'll be 2 to go here at the line. Colton Herta, 71 seconds of push to pass. Newgarden, 45. They're both on the button all the way down shoreline here.
Yeah, Herta used a big chunk there. He's down to 57 now. Less than 4 miles to run for Colton Herta to round out this season with back-to-back wins.
Close there. So this is where he's got to make it happen, is in this tight section where he's got the downforce on the car.
I think his best chance is after this next left-hander, charging it up the inside, Marty.
Team was talking to Colton. He said, everybody just be quiet, please. He thinks he needs to finish this off by himself. No interruption.
And Alex Palou is not close enough to his teammate Scott Dixon to threaten for that podium, but that's fine. In a lap and a quarter, Alex Palou will be crowned the champion. We'll deal with that when it's on the final lap. Meanwhile, this scrap for the lead is intensifying. But Herta just seems to be able to hold Joseph to a level that's comfortable.
He's got to make it happen in the fountain section in turns 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. Look at this car just pull away down the straightaway.
One to go.
But then in the brake zone, T-Bell, he's just going to close right up.
Yeah, if he can get close through the fountain and back on out of turn 6, then I think he'll have a shot. But Colton has just done a masterful job to hang on to the back end of his race car and just manage that wheel spin we heard earlier.
Worldwide this year, your comments, your enthusiasm, your passion about the NTT INDYCAR season have been noticed. This series is alive and the competition is fantastic. And we have noticed, the series notices. We're glad that you love it. Wherever you're watching from around the world, these guys are incredible. No matter whether it's a street circuit, a road course, a super speedway, or a small oval, It's fantastic, and there's more to come in 2022 where you can fully expect the driver of the Gainbridge Honda, Colton Herta, to be vying for a championship. This will be his 6th career win, and he gets to do it in Southern California where he grew up. Out of the hairpin for the final time, Colton Herta will have the last say of 2021. Herta wins again for the first time at Long Beach. The Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach is away, and Kirkwood gets a great start.
Kirkwood, no stranger to leading the junior formulas, but this is his first time in the big leagues as Erickson goes to the outside.
Pato O'Ward trying to make it 3 wide. It's going to be Kyle Kirkwood leading, but side by side, Grosjean and Joseph Newgarden heading into the fountain. This is 1 lane only. Elio Castro-Neves now to try to get around Canapino. He's going to do it on the outside of turn 6, side by side, as we see one of the McLarens. Pato O'Ward going inside of Grosjean.
Oh, it's on.
Slow.
Look at this. Down to turn 8. Here comes O'Ward again. Pato O'Ward spins. Erickson hits him. Kirkwood gets away with it.
And O'Ward thought, oh, I got Scott Dixon. Now I can get Kyle Kirkwood, but it was too much, too late, and O'Ward goes backwards.
That was desperate from the championship leader.
Kirkwood hasn't come into the pits yet, but I'm seeing he's got stuck behind some traffic. That's going to really hurt him on that in-lap. So important to get the best lap time that he can. He's diving into the pits now. It's all in the hands of the pit crew and this out-lap.
You said it, guys. What is the in-lap like? How bad will that be? Fresh primaries going on the 27 car. Kyle is in his marks well. Team gets him going, and he nails it.
And
Kevin.
Marcus Erickson comes in from second. He's going to primaries. He's back out. He's going to easily beat Colton Herta, who is the only one that had tire choice, but he doesn't feel like he can make the alternates last the rest of the way. Primary Firestones and Shell Fuel, and Herta back out.
And coming out of the hairpin is Romain Grosjean and Joseph Newgarden. Look on your screen to the bottom there. Here it is. It's a drag race. Kirkwood is off that pit lane speed limiter. He's going down to the bottom there. Here comes his teammate. Kirkwood's going to beat them both out, but he's on cold tires. Can he hang tough? Can he do what Newgarden did last year? It's all to play for with 31 to go.
Andretti Autosport running 1-2 at Long Beach after making their last round of stops. And for Kyle Kirkwood, he got it done on that in-lap. Low fuel, he saved the pace, and he turned up the wick to get the lead.
2 laps more than Joseph Newgarden, 1 lap more than his teammate Romain Grosjean, and that was the key for sure. Got a nice gap when he came out, even though his tires are cold. Doing a great job on this out lap, keeping Grosjean at bay. This is a brilliant, brilliant execution.
And for the driver of the 27, most importantly, he has the most fuel to use to get to the end. Meanwhile, Newgarden's going to have to save to make it there. I don't see that thumb of Grosjean moving just yet, Hinchcliffe. You tell me I've got an extra 50 horsepower with a win in front of me. I'm going to be all over that button.
No, I'm waiting to use it all in 1 lap. Close up that gap and try to initiate that pass. Here he goes. He used a little bit right there just to get a good jump off of turn 9. He'll probably use a little bit again to get a jump off the hairpin, but he needs to be closer than a second to have a legitimate shot. And remember, Kyle still has a lap more of fuel.
Yeah.
He's got enough push. He's got more than 30 seconds of push to pass, so he could probably defend second for second.
Now Grosjean's on the button. He's ready to go. 2 laps to go at the line here.
Brian Herta on the left bottom box. Olivier Boisson on the right bottom box. The engineer of Romain Grosjean on the radio. They're both taking a look. Both getting a little nervous. There's less than 4 miles of racing to go. Marcus Ericsson would dearly love to steal this second spot away from Romain Grosjean, the 2 former F1 drivers. Battling it out here on the closing stages of the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. And for either Kirkwood or Grosjean, if they were to get the victory, they would join a list of drivers like Michael Andretti, our old mate PT, Paul Tracy, Juan Pablo Montoya, Mike Conway and Takuma Sato as drivers to win their first ever IndyCar race on these famed streets of Long Beach.
What must be going through Kirkwood's head? I got to tell you, this guy, I've been his teammate, the Vassar Sullivan Lexus team in sports car racing. I know how mentally strong he is. Nothing has really rattled him so far in his IndyCar career, but this has to be the most pressure he's faced so far.
And he's going to see the white flag with a clear track ahead. What a great feeling for Kyle Kirkwood. 1 to go. Get to the finish, bud. You got less than 2 miles, Kyle Kirkwood, before you're an IndyCar race winner.
And to get your to get your first one here. He's been told he can go as hard as he wants. This is essentially one of the majors of open wheel racing.
Oh, yeah.
The Grand Prix of Long Beach. This will mean so much to this young driver, Alexander Rossi, it looks like, down in the tires.
That's terrible for Rossi, who was having a really good race.
That's down in turn 9, I believe. That's very unfortunate. He was running comfortably in the top 10.
He was in the top 10, and that was going to bode well for his points haul as well in the NTT Data Arrow McLaren Chevy. What a shame. Last time up the back straight for Kyle Kirkwood. One of the most celebrated Road to Indy drivers because of his phenomenal winning record. He had to answer a lot of uncomfortable questions last year in his rookie year. It didn't pan out the way that he had hoped, but the famous Andretti name with a young American behind the wheel, Kyle Kirkwood, is your latest IndyCar race winner. He wins the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.